Hello, my Capricorn. I need to talk to you about something that I know has been keeping you up at night. This internal battle where your heart is screaming yes, but your logical Capricorn mind is throwing up every red flag imaginable. I shuffled the deck specifically for you today, and the energy that came through was so clear, so precise about what you are dealing with right now. Before we dive into the cards, I want you to take a breath because what I am about to share with you is going to make so much sense. You know that situation where everything feels right emotionally, but practically it seems like a terrible idea. The cards have a lot to say about this, and trust me when I tell you. The guidance here is profound, so I pulled 6 cards for you today, and honestly when I came out, I actually had to pause because the message was so direct. Let me walk you through what Spirit wants you to know about this conflict between your heart and your head. The first card that came through is the Page of Wands in Capricorn. This is absolutely fascinating, because pages represent messages, new beginnings, and that youthful enthusiasm that sometimes defies logic. The Page of Wands specifically is about passionate ideas and creative sparks that ignite something inside of you. This card is telling me that what your heart is saying yes to right now is not just a fleeting emotion. There is genuine inspiration here, real potential for growth and excitement that your soul recognizes even if your brain cannot quantify it yet. What I find so interesting about the Page of Wands in your situation is that this card carries the energy of exploration without necessarily having all the answers mapped out. You know how you Capricorns love your plans and your 5-year projections and your backup plans for your backup plans. The Page of Wands is the opposite of that energy. This card is saying, hey, sometimes the most extraordinary journeys begin with nothing more than a spark of curiosity and the courage to say yes to something that excites you. I am getting the sense that what your heart wants involves something creative or passionate, maybe a relationship that does not fit your usual criteria, or a career move that feels risky, or even a lifestyle change that seems impractical. The Page of Wands is showing up to validate that the enthusiasm you feel is real and it matters. This is not just wishful thinking or temporary infatuation. There is actual potential here that deserves to be explored. The page is also a messenger, and I feel like the message for you specifically is that not everything valuable in life can be measured by traditional metrics of success or practicality. Sometimes the heart knows things that the head has not caught up to yet. Your intuition is picking up on possibilities that your logical mind cannot see because it is too busy calculating risks and potential failures. The Page of Wands wants you to understand that calculated risks are still part of growth, even for someone as careful as you. What makes this even more powerful is that pages are often about taking the first step, sending out that initial energy into the world. Your heart saying yes is that first step, and the universe is not dismissing it. The cards are actually showing me that this impulse, this desire, this pull you are feeling has merit. It has substance. The question is not whether your heart is wrong to say yes, but rather how you can honor both your emotional truth and your practical nature moving forward. The second card is the 3 of Swords, and okay, I know this looks intense, but stay with me, because this card is giving us such important context. The 3 of Swords is traditionally about heartbreak, painful truths, and the kind of clarity that comes through difficulty. But in your reading, this card is speaking to the pain of the conflict itself. The swords piercing the heart in this image represent the way your logical mind is attacking your emotional desires right now. This is where I need you to really hear me, Capricorn. The 3 of Swords in this position is showing me that the mental warfare you are waging against your own feelings is actually causing more pain than whatever risk you are afraid of. Every time your heart opens to this possibility and your mind slams it down with logic and fear, you are creating those sword wounds. You are literally hurting yourself with this internal conflict. I am getting such a clear message that your head is bringing up every worst-case scenario, every reason why this could go wrong, every past hurt or failure that seems relevant. Your Saturn-ruled nature is in full protection mode, building walls and citing statistics and reminding you of your responsibilities. But the 3 of Swords is revealing that this protection mechanism has become a source of pain in itself. What is interesting here is that the 3 of Swords is also about necessary pain, the kind that leads to truth and clarity. Sometimes we have to feel the sharpness of reality to cut through illusion, but I am sensing that in your case, the illusion is not in your heart's desire but in your mind's assumption that you have to choose between emotional fulfillment and practical security. The painful truth the 3 of Swords wants you to see is that denying your heart is not actually the safe choice you think it is. There is another layer here about previous heartbreaks or disappointments that are influencing your current hesitation. The Three of Swords suggests that your mind is using past pain as evidence for why you should not trust your heart now. Your logical brain is saying, remember what happened last time you followed your feelings. Remember how that turned out? But here is what Spirit wants you to understand. Past heartbreak does not predict future outcomes. The circumstances are different. You are different. And most importantly, the lesson from past pain is not to never feel again, but to feel with more awareness and wisdom. The Three of Swords is also asking you to examine what you are really afraid of. Is it actually the possibility you are considering that scares you, or is it the vulnerability of wanting something that is not guaranteed? Because nothing is guaranteed, Capricorn, not even the safe choices. You could play it completely safe and still end up hurt or disappointed. At least if you honor your heart, you will know you gave yourself a chance at something that truly resonated with your soul. Moving into the third card, we have the Nine of Cups, and this is where the reading really starts to show you the path forward. The Nine of Cups is known as the wish card, the card of emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. This card is literally showing me what happens when you allow your heart to have a voice in this decision. The Nine of Cups represents deep contentment. Cups appearing here is that it is not a naive card. This is not the fool jumping off a cliff with blind optimism. The Nine of Cups is about earned satisfaction, about knowing what truly makes you happy, and having the courage to claim it. This card is telling me that you already know what would make you happy. Your heart has been telling you all along, but you have been dismissing that knowing as impractical or irresponsible. The figure in the Nine of Cups sits with arms crossed in satisfaction, surrounded by cups that represent emotional fulfillment. This is someone who has learned to trust their feelings and honor their desires, and the result is genuine happiness. For you, Capricorn, this card is showing me that the yes your heart is speaking is actually aligned with your authentic happiness, not working against it. I am getting a really strong message here about self-worth and deserving. The Nine of Cups asks, do you believe you deserve to be happy? Truly happy, even if that happiness does not look like what you planned. Your Capricorn nature is so focused on achievement and doing the responsible thing that sometimes you forget that joy and emotional fulfillment are also valid goals. They are actually essential goals. Here is what makes the Nine of Cups so powerful in your reading. This card is confirmation that what your heart wants is not frivolous or foolish. It is deeply connected to your authentic happiness and well-being. Your logical mind might be calculating pros and cons, but your heart is tuned into something more fundamental, which is what will actually make you feel fulfilled and alive. The Nine of Cups validates that the emotional pull you are feeling toward this, yes, is coming from a place of genuine alignment with your true self. The Nine of Cups is also speaking to manifestation and the power of allowing yourself to want what you want without shame or justification. You do not have to prove that your desires are logical for them to be valid. You do not have to have a perfect plan for how it will all work out before you take the first step. Sometimes you just have to trust that what calls to your heart is calling to you for a reason, and the Nine of Cups is telling you that following that call leads to fulfillment. The fourth card is Temperance, and Capricorn, this is the answer you have been looking for. Temperance is the card of balance, integration, and finding the middle path. This card is literally showing you that you do not have to choose between your heart and your head. You do not have to silence one to honor the other. Temperance is about blending, about taking the passion of your heart and the wisdom of your mind and creating something balanced and sustainable. The angel in Temperance has one foot on land and one in water, representing the balance between practical reality and emotional truth. This is exactly what you need to embody right now. Your heart's yes and your head's caution can actually work together. The key is not to let either one dominate, but to allow them to inform each other. Your emotional desire shows you what you truly want, and your practical mind can help you figure out how to approach it wisely. What I am seeing with Temperance is that the solution to your conflict is not to pick a side but to find a way to honor both. Maybe that means saying yes to your heart but with boundaries and awareness that satisfy your need for security. Maybe it means taking things slower than your emotions want to rush but faster than your fear wants to stall. Temperance is all about that middle ground where both parts of you can feel heard and respected. Getting such a clear message about patience here too. Temperance is not a quick fix card. It is about the slow and steady alchemy of transformation. You do not have to make a dramatic all or nothing decision right now. You can test the waters. You can take small steps. You can allow this to unfold gradually in a way that feels manageable to your cautious Capricorn nature while still honoring your heart's desires. There is also something here about faith and trust in divine timing. Temperance is deeply spiritual. It is about trusting that there is a higher wisdom guiding you even when you cannot see the full picture. Your mind wants guarantees and certainties, but Temperance is asking you to develop faith in the process. Not blind faith, but the kind of trust that comes from recognizing that you have navigated uncertainty before and you will navigate it again. Temperance is also about healing the split within yourself. The conflict between your heart and head is creating internal stress, and this card shows you the path to integration. When you stop seeing your emotions and your logic as enemies and start seeing them as partners, everything shifts. Your feelings give you direction and passion, while your intellect gives you strategy and discernment. Together, they make you unstoppable. The fifth card that came through is the Four of Swords, and this is about the mental rest and contemplation you desperately need. The Four of Swords shows a figure in complete stillness, taking a break from the battle. Capricorn, you have been overthinking this situation to the point of exhaustion. Your mind has been running every scenario, analyzing every angle, and honestly, it is wearing you out. The Four of Swords is saying you need to step back from the mental gymnastics and give yourself space to just be. What I find really significant about the Four of Swords here is that it suggests the answer will not come from more thinking. You have already thought about this from every possible direction. You have made lists, weighed options, considered consequences. More mental processing is not going to give you clarity at this point. What will give you clarity is rest, meditation, and allowing your intuition to speak without the constant interference of your analytical mind. The Four of Swords is also about recovery and healing. The internal war between your heart and head has taken a toll, and this card is showing me that you need to create some peace within yourself before you can make a clear decision. When you are in a state of rest and centeredness, the right path becomes more obvious. When you are in a state of mental chaos and overthinking everything seems complicated and risky. I am getting a message here about trusting the process of not knowing for a while. Your Capricorn nature wants to have everything figured out immediately. But the Four of Swords is saying that sometimes the most powerful action is inaction, strategic pause, intentional stillness. This is not about avoiding the decision. It is about creating the mental and emotional space for wisdom to emerge naturally. There is also something here about dreams and the subconscious. The Four of Swords often relates to the wisdom that comes through when the conscious mind is quiet. Pay attention to your dreams right now, to the thoughts that come to you in the shower or right before you fall asleep. These moments when your logical mind relaxes are when your deeper knowing can come through. Your heart has been trying to tell you something and your head has been too loud for you to really hear it. The Four of Swords creates the quiet necessary for that deeper communication. The Four of Swords is also reminding you that not every moment requires action. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is wait, reflect, and trust that clarity will come when you are ready for it. This does not mean indefinitely postponing the decision, but it does mean giving yourself permission to not have all the answers right this second. The internal pressure you are putting on yourself to figure this out immediately is actually blocking your ability to access your true wisdom. The sixth and final card is the Three of Wands in Capricorn. This is such a hopeful and expansive card to end on. The Three of Wands shows a figure looking out at the horizon, having already sent their ships out to sea, and now waiting for them to return with abundance. This card is about vision, planning, and having the courage to commit to something even when you cannot see the final outcome yet. It is about taking action based on faith in your vision and in yourself. What the Three of Wands is telling me is that when you do find that balance between heart and head, when you do allow yourself to move forward, there is so much potential waiting for you. This card represents expansion, growth, and opportunities that come from being willing to venture beyond your comfort zone. Your heart's yes is connected to a path of growth and possibility that your logical mind could not have predicted or planned for. The Three of Wands is also about foresight and preparation, which speaks directly to your Capricorn nature. This card is not saying throw caution to the wind and hope for the best. It is saying that you can prepare, you can plan, you can set things up intelligently, and then you have to be willing to let go and trust the journey. The ships in the Three of Wands were not sent out carelessly. They were loaded with goods and sent out with intention. But at some point, the figure had to release control and trust. I am getting such a strong message about collaboration between your different parts here. The Three of Wands represents the moment when heart and head work together. Your passion provides the vision and direction while your practical wisdom provides the planning and preparation. This is the integration that Temperance was pointing to, and the Three of Wands shows you the results of that integration, which is forward movement with confidence. There is also something here about patience and trust in timing. The Three of Wands knows that results do not come immediately. There is a period of waiting and trusting after you take action. Your Capricorn nature understands delayed gratification better than most signs. You know how to work toward long-term goals. The Three of Wands is asking you to apply that same patience and long-term thinking to matters of the heart. To understand that emotional investments also require time to develop and mature. The horizon in the Three of Wands is wide and full of possibility. This card is telling me that saying yes to your heart does not mean sacrificing your future, it means expanding your future to include more dimensions of fulfillment. You have spent so much of your life building security and achieving goals, and those things matter, but the Three of Wands is showing me that there is more available to you. There are experiences, connections, and joys that are waiting for you if you are willing to expand your definition of success to include emotional and spiritual fulfillment alongside material achievement. So Capricorn, here is what the cards are telling you overall. Your heart's yes is not foolish or impracticable, it is actually connected to your authentic path of fulfillment. The pain you are experiencing comes not from the thing you desire but from the war you are waging against your own desires. The solution is not to choose between heart and head but to find the balance where both can inform your path forward. You need rest and stillness to access your deeper knowing, and when you do find that integration and take action from that balanced place, there is so much growth and possibility waiting for you. The conflict between heart and head is not actually a problem to be solved. It is an invitation to evolve into a more integrated version of yourself. Someone who can honor their emotions without being reckless and follow their logic without being rigid. Someone who understands that the best decisions come from a place where passion and wisdom work together rather than fighting each other. I hope this reading gave you some clarity and perspective on what you are going through. Trust yourself, Capricorn, both the part that feels deeply and the part that thinks carefully. You do not have to abandon either one. You just have to let them learn to dance together.